Hey everybody, it's Jim from Jim's Coleus. How's everybody doing? How's your week going? Ready for the weekend? Hey, I'm gonna just a real quick shout out to everybody. If you're following along and you're in the East Coast, or if you're in a growth zone that your Coleus are starting to decline and growing seed stalks, and you're intending on letting your seed stalks grow, mature, and eventually collect seeds, stay tuned, get ready. I'm going to be filming a pretty extensive video on how to properly know everything you need to know on when it's time to collect your seed stalks, what they should look like. They have flowers on them, there's a little bit of flowers, how long they've been on, and how to collect the seeds and so forth. So stay tuned. Here's a few seed stalks on my Coleus now, and like I said, we'll be filming shortly on exactly when it's time to get mature Coleus seeds. And that's what's important, getting your Coleus seeds, making sure that they stay on the stalks long enough that they mature, because immature seeds may not germinate, or they may germinate with weak Coleus and so forth. So we're enjoying our backyard here, as we can show here. Here's my cat Maximus. He's an indoor cat, but he likes to hang out in the backyard. Here he is. There we go. He's very friendly, and he just loves. He's all black. I have two. I have Maximus and Ruby. They're brother and sister, and he just loves hanging out in the backyard. And here are my two trusty sidekicks throughout the season. Here's Newton. Newton's about 12. I found him on the highway, believe it or not. And he's a good boy. He's getting on. He's got some arthritis, and he's got a little bit of I think it's like dementia. But anyway, he's still moving around. I can't take him for walks anymore because he has they think he's got a small tumor in his brain. They're just assuming that because he gets little seizures. So, and there's my other one, Bobo. My other Yorkie, Bobo. Can't really see him. Hiding over there. Bobo, hey, go say hi, buddy. He's only 3. Alright, so here's one of my planters. It's a little wilted. The sun's pretty strong today, so we gave it a little bit of water. But you can see I got a lot of bumblebee activity pollinating these Coleus, and other insects pollinating. Sometimes there's a lot of them around, they get mad at me. So anyway, this is a looks like a black cherry type Coleus, and you can see I had mentioned in my earlier videos that so each Coleus variety, their seed stalks are a little different. Some are very thick. You could really see the Coleus seed pods underneath the flowers, like Kong Coleus. Again, this is a black cherry. It's a broader. Usually the Coleus with the broad leaves, the larger leaves, will generally have larger, more densely packed seed pods, seed stalks, and so forth. But this one here, it still has a lot of flowers on it, and they'll keep growing. A lot of them will keep growing taller and taller. So you can, a seed stalk like this size, let's go back here, a seed stalk this size will yield you an awful lot, hundreds and hundreds of seeds. So, you know, if you get to a point where you see it keeps growing tall, I already snipped this, but you can see here, perfect example. Here's a seed stalk that's it's developing. So they'll keep growing taller and taller. So you can, once you get to a certain point, you can snip the top seed stalk, and that'll kind of keep it, and that'll keep these, that'll, you know, divert the energy down here. And these, it's sort of just like taking care of your Coleus, same thing. It'll divert the energy. These seed stalks, the flowers will come out, they'll be pollinated, and eventually they'll drop off. So this is again, this is a one of the black cherry varieties. And here are those two Saturns that I'm frequently videotape. And you can see these are much delicate, much more sparse. They're not as large, they're smaller. Although the seeds, when we get into harvesting them later, the videos where I actually show you the seeds, and that'll be an upcoming video. The seeds will be similar in size. They look like poppy seeds from a bagel. But you can see these are very small. This is actually ready to cut off. So I'm gonna just pop this one off now. Yes, I have some flowers up top here, but again, it keeps growing and growing, and I have a lot of them here, and I already have an awful lot of Coleus, of Saturn. Let me get a little closer to see if we can get a little better view. We can see they're not nearly as densely packed as the other Coleus. So but again, I cut this one. It's starting to turn brown. So you can see the difference between a Coleus species, or Coleus variety rather. This is they're much thinner. It's already deflowered for the most part down here. It's starting to turn brown. I know this one's been on there at least a month, so I'm fairly confident that it is mature. So you want to leave these on. This is still green. It's still flowering down below, up top, and it's still maturing. So do not cut at this point. This still has another month or so, and there's a lot of them. If you know, at this point, I'm just letting a lot of these seed stalks develop because I chose the ones that I want. Here's another example. Here's a Kong. This is just, you can see this is common with the Kong variety, where you'll have a seed stalk come out center, and then you'll have two on the sides. So this seed stalk here is really densely packed, and you can see it's growing taller. So Kongs generally are pretty, you know, they really develop seed stalks aggressive. There's an awful lot of them that'll come out almost everywhere. You can see. So you can cut these two on the side. Just snip them. You could snip these off. You're not going to hurt anything. And let it develop. That's still developing. We're not going to touch that. So leave them on. Leave them on until all of the flowers are done. Once they get to this a length that you want, where I'm going to keep, like, this is pretty much the length I'm going to keep this at. Let them deflower, let them sit, let them start to turn brown as you can. They'll start browning at the bottom first. So let them brown, as you know, keep them on as long as you can. You'll know that they're ready, that they're mature. And again, Kongs it's easier with Kongs because you can really see the detail. They look like they're just little pods. They're like little baby cradles that hold the seeds. You can almost imagine. It's hard to really get a good shot. I'm going to take a photo and I'll post it on, I'll superimpose it, I'll post it on the video here. One of my, but you can see they're like little cradles, little pods that hold the seeds. So you want them to stay in there long enough that they get mature. Okay, so here's that table arrangement I have. Beautiful. You know, at this point, now here again, as you know, I'm in New Jersey. At this point, you know, we're starting to get towards September, and it almost seems like it's already starting to get a little cool now. And you'll notice your Coleus will start to decline a little bit, depending on where you're at. I mean, if you're at an area that gets very cool soon, your fall comes in a little earlier, your Coleus are going to decline. So you, at this point, decide what you're going to do. Take rootings, seeds, or just wait till next year and buy some seed pouches and start all over again, or go to the store and buy them, or buy live plants online. But you can see this is a Kong. And these Kongs, again, as I mentioned earlier, they really grow very densely packed seed stalks. Very, very densely packed. So it's pretty easy to keep an eye on them and know when they're ready to go. They're going to start to, again, they're going to start to brown at the bottom. Let them flower. Be patient. Again, you have so many seeds growing on here, so they're pretty, you know, they're pretty well packed into these pods. Here's a good, pretty good, as you can see. So again, this is just going to keep growing and growing. So they're pretty densely packed, and they want to keep growing tall. So yeah, if you have a number of them, just cut the, you know, trim the top and let them develop. Again, these Kongs, just every one of them will start to grow out. So once it is time to cut them, what do you do? What's the best way to store the Coleus pods? Well, you could do a number of things. You can use paper plates. It all depends on your home and how many Coleus and so forth, how many animals you have and so forth. I like to use these takeout trays. You get them at Chinese food restaurant, Italian specialty shops, wherever. They're good. I mark them so I know what I'm doing. As you can see, I got a lot of Saturn Coleus in here, and you can actually see a couple of seeds. Some of these have been here in a while, so they're brittle already, and you'll actually start to see some seeds. So I just throw them in here, and I keep them, you know, in a you don't want them baking in the sun or nothing like that. You know, keep them in I keep them in my indoor greenhouse on the shelf, organized. I mark them, label them, so I know what I'm doing. I date them. I mean, I know that they're from this year, but let me get this inside. We don't want to lose any. But we got an awful lot of Coleus here. A lot of Coleus. This is the Saturn. And here's the fishnet stockings. And pretty disappointed. I don't see any seed stalks developing. So, but I'm not giving up. One's probably going to appear somewhere. I'm hoping. I just took a couple of cuttings and I just put them in a bud vase to root. So, but I'm holding out hope. I'm keeping hopeful that that we can get some seeds. The last year I was lucky. I did get a seed stalk, but it was very small, and I let it develop as long as I could. I actually brought the stem in, and you could do that. You can cut a stem, root it with a seed stalk, and bring it inside. You know, if you can leave it outside, obviously, as long as you can. But you can bring it in and let the seed stalk develop indoors. Just keep it by a brightly lit window, just like a regular Coleus, and it will develop. And we're gonna wait. Hopefully, I can get some seeds out of this. This is beautiful. I love this. These greens, these painted nettles, I don't generally. It's, you know, I do for a number of reasons why I grow them. Ultimately, for my farmer's market, I want to get as many Kongs, because those are overall the most popular plants when I make planters, hanging baskets, what have you. Jitters, Kongs, they fly off the shelf. People love them, and rightly so. They're gorgeous plants. And the Defiance, Saturns. But these greens, they generally just color. You know, again, if they make an arrangement, it's nice to have a little bit in the background. People like the green and white and so forth. And sometimes these will get a little bit. You can see some pink in there. So, but in general, the greens. By the end of the season, I generally have a lot of greens that I let, you know, die, and then I recycle the soil and the pots rather. So, but no seed stalks coming in on this. Here's one. I gotta look up this, what variety this is. It's pretty nice. I love these. This is more of in the wizard mixture. The wizard mix. If you buy seeds in the store, in general, you're gonna get 2 variety packs. It'll say rainbow and wizard mix. The rainbow mix are the colorful ones like Kongs, the brights, pinks, the bright colors, like the rainbow colors. So you're gonna get bright, colorful Coleus. Most of them have Kongs in there. You might get some jitters. Now wizard mix, if you see wizards are gonna be the darker color, the darker shades like these, like the burgundies. They're not the rainbow, they're more of like the darker color, like the chocolates, the black cherries you may get, and so forth, and something like this here, the darker, broader leaf. So just keep that in mind. That's a common question I get. And again, here's another nice little arrangement. Let me get out of the shadow here. This is just a little galvanized bucket that I have, and I threw some potting soil in it. It is drained. Always make sure your pots are drained. I'm digressing a little. But anyway, I threw in a mix of little Kongs and some kaleidoscope, the finger paints here. And it's a nice, and I really haven't done much to this. I just snip it a little once in a while, but it was a nice little slow growing arrangement just on my property. And that's what's great about them. You can grow a whole bunch, do what you're going to do with them. You're going to sell them at a farmer's market, flea market, grow a bunch for your home, get a bunch of cheap pots from the dollar store, and you can go to town all over your property, as I do. You have a problem area like I have here, I still haven't planned what I'm going to do here. I just loaded up with a bunch of Coleus. The color, you can't beat it. And one thing worth mentioning about Coleus seed stalks, once your Coleus starts developing seed stalks, it's going to start to decline. It's going to get less vibrant. It's not going to look as healthy. That's why during the spring or late spring and early summer, Coleus will develop seed stalks at any time. If I see them developing seed stalk early, and they will do that, I just keep snipping them, because then it's going to, it takes a lot of energy away from the plant to develop seeds and seed stalks. And the development of seeds and seed stalks signal the plant that it's time to go. It's time to renew and die, and the seeds, because Coleus are perennials. They're just in frost areas. They're not like your traditional perennials where they go back in the ground like tulip bulbs or something, or Shasta daisies. So the Coleus seed stalks signal it. That's the end of the line for the Coleus. So it takes a lot of energy, and your Coleus will start to decline when the seed stalks start to develop. So the more seed stalks in your plant, the more and more washed out and run down and unhealthy it's going to look. So, but that's part of the cycle of it. I understand it. I enjoyed my Coleus all season long. We'll start getting into fall. It's on to the next level, and that's to harvest seeds and so forth. We enjoyed them, take care of them all spring and summer, into fall, and so forth. So that's just part of it. So if you start to see seed stalks developing and you're going to keep them, just keep in mind that your Coleus are not going to look as vibrant and healthy, because again, they're going to start to decline a little. So it's a little later in the day. It's actually almost midnight. It's been a long day. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it clarified everything, any of your questions you had about growing your own seeds, your seed stalks and so forth. So if you have any further questions, please leave a comment, or if you also follow me on Instagram, shoot me. You can send me a photo, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So next couple of weeks or so, I'll be shooting a video on detail on how to on everything you need to separate the Coleus seeds from the stalk. So let them grow, let them stay on your stems. Let your seed stalks stay on your Coleus. Let them develop, depending on where you are. As my video showed, let them develop and stand by. get your trays ready. If you know the type of Coleus you have, just mark it. And that's what's beautiful about, in closing, that's what's really nice about collecting your own seeds. Because next year, you can, as opposed to buying the burpee seeds, the rainbow mix or the wizard mix or whatever, you know what you'll be growing. And that's how I do my farmer's market. I know what Coleus I have. So that's the neat thing about having your own Coleus seeds. So anyway, thanks for following. Appreciate everybody that's been following along this season. It's been a really tough year. And your friendship and your comments and your motivation is greatly appreciated. I really, really appreciate you guys. So thanks a lot. And stay tuned. I'm going to do a video a couple of weeks, like I said, on everything you need to separate the Coleus seeds. The tools, the basic tools that I use. It's real simple. It's not hard to do. So a lot of fun. Okay. All right. See you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching Jim's Holiest of Coleus. Take care.